1974.
Yeah, the next year, yes.
Yeah.
So second time at Bathurst now in your Civic.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And the Civic was supplied by Honda Australia, and they gave me $1,000. And back in '74, that was quite a bit of money. And they used to get.
And you would have needed all of it too for taking on something like that.
Yeah, and they gave me everything. Unfortunately, I built the car for you, and the owners of Honda Australia wouldn't sign my entry form, so I couldn't put it in as a factory entrant, and that would have given me straight away a start.
Oh, okay. So you had to go through the qualifying and everything.
No, I'd earned all of that, right? But they wouldn't sign the entry form for me as a factory car. So that was the end of that.
Probably because you built it?
No, because they were frightened that if someone got hurt, they would sue the
responsibility.
So they were, because they'd had on the Honda Odyssey bikes, people falling off and breaking their legs and suing them.
That three-wheeler thing that was happening,
and they were suing Honda Australia, right, or Honda Japan or whoever.
Yes.
But there's lawsuits out. So they said, no, we'll give you the car, and we'll give you $1,000, but see you later.
There you go. Good luck. Yeah.
There was two bought out, one for Ian Wells and one for myself. There's only two that ever come to Australia.
Oh, okay. So this was a special car they imported for Bathurst, was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
All touring car racing.
And touring car racing.
There wasn't actually a race car until we built it into that roll cage, fuel tanks, and wheels and stuff like that. And anyway, I campaigned it for a while, but it was no good. Even though the 5-speed box, it was too heavy. The whole car was too heavy. Right. And the other thing which I wasn't aware of is the brake system on it. Right? You start lowering and playing around with springs on the late in those times, we didn't really know what it was all about. Yeah. And both cars have been rolled, right, because of the stabilisation, right. Whereas the original Honda that I used to race, stuff you could go around corners all day long. Yeah. Not an issue. Yeah. Right. But anyway, I ended up after 12 months of trying to campaign it, giving it back to Honda Australia. And didn't want it. Yeah. Then, 25 years later, I ran into Wild Bill Evans, who now lives.
Wild Bill?
He now lives in Leopold. Right. I hadn't seen him for a number of years. He'd been down in the Otways with the farm and everything. He sold it and moved back into Geelong. Yeah. When we rolled the Civic at Sandown once, he took it home and repaired it while I went to hospital, and the doctor repaired and put my arm in plaster, right, and said, "You're not going to race tomorrow. You're in too much pain." I said, "Well, yes, I am." And I got him.
Typical racing driver. I'll be right.
Yeah, you got to give me a letter saying that I'm not in any pain.
Give me a letter and some pills.
So he did. He gave me the letter, right? And off I go to the Clerk, of course, and they said, "All right, come around. We're going around to check the track now. Jump in the Mercedes and you drive that around."
He was smart, wasn't he?
Yeah. And anyway, we get around there. Yeah, that was okay. And then it was time for a 10-minute warm-up. Yes. Thing, right? So off I go. The lady thing had a wooden steering wheel, and it wouldn't stick, right? So when I was in the hospital, I said, "Doc," I said, "how are you going to hold the steering wheel?" I said, "Give me that broom over there. We'll shove it down there, and you set the plaster around."
Set it for that thickness.
You set it around there, right? Yeah. But it didn't work because it was slippery, the plaster. So the bloke Rod Stevens that used to build fuel tanks and that for us, or all racing cars in those days, and roll cages and stuff like that.
You remember his adverts in the magazines.
Yeah. He's a nice, hell of a nice guy. He said, "Come over here." So we got a file, and we're filing away the plaster. Yeah. And he got a tube of go, and now it won't slip. And the doctor was right. I'd done about 8 to 10 laps. There was 250 k's we were going. Yes. Right? Yeah. And I was in so much pain. Yeah. I finished the race, but I couldn't be competitive. It just wasn't. I just had to back off and just.
To be competitive, everything's got to be going your way, doesn't it?
Yeah. And anyway, that was that. But then this 20 years later, 30 years later, when I ran into Bill Evans, and he used to say to me when we were racing around the track, "I'm cheating Max, but you'll never know where. They'd lowered the top of this Datsun, they'd lowered it down, and you couldn't pick it.
So he was one of the original chop toppers.
He was, the top was lowered, right. There was that, and it was seam welded, right, and he had a 5-speed box anyway. So no matter what I thought I was going to do at Bathurst with a 5-speed box in the Honda, he was already there doing it. so I just sat back and I just cracked up. But he's a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah, and pretty quick peddler too.
Oh, race winners, they always got something up their sleeve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a number of things about quite a few other drivers that I knew, and they were running, right? And they were getting away with it, but I didn't want to try any of that sort of nonsense.
Yeah.
But I'll do it on my own.
Yeah, and did pretty well.
Drive by the seat of my pants, and then that's what I did most of the time. I remember once in the Formula V, we were doing a 6-hour relay, right? And my turn to do an hour, I think they did 6 hours, I can't quite remember properly. Anyway, I overfilled the tank, and the thing was full of fuel, and it burnt all my bloody backside off.
Yes,
I kept going, I should have pulled out.
In the V, the tank, well, that was the back of your seat virtually, wasn't it? Was the fuel tank.
Fuel tank, yeah. And I've never forgotten that. It could have caught fire at any time, you know, and I should have pulled out, but nah, I can't let the team down.
the red mist. You can't stop the red mist.
No, no. But that, you got anything else you can refresh me on, Jeff?
Oh, I've got lots and lots of things, and next time I'd like to talk about rallycross.
Okay.
I've got lots of great memories of Max at rallycross and his efforts, and he did very well there. And also I'd like to talk about the 1970 Ampol trial with you and a couple of guys from the Western District Car Club. So, so that'd be great if we can do that next time round, Max.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and there's as you talk, lots of things keep coming back, and we'll remember more and more and more.
Yeah, not so long ago I had a month in a coma and I was 3 days off dying, so I'm very, very lucky to be still here. So some of my memories are a bit blank.
I think we've done pretty well for our first go, Max.
I appreciate that, Jeff.
Yeah, terrific, Max.
Okay.
Thank you.